Hey everyone, James Ningemeyer here. Thank you for tuning back into my YouTube channel. Today I want to do another video where I talk about October baits that I feel like are very productive for the October time frame, the month of October, as we continue to progress into the fall. In other parts of the country, there's probably a whole lot more fall going on. Here in Texas, I think it's going to be, mid to high 80s again today. It's going to be pretty warm. It's cooling off at night. And there's bait fish activity in the shallows. Just went out to the lake a couple days ago, seeing the threadfin there, seeing some schooling activity. So we've got fall in the air, even in Northeast Texas like I am here. This is gonna be a bait that really isn't new to many people, but it's a bait that for me is just really productive a lot of the year, but really a special bait October, November timeframe when the bass are really keying in on bait. Before I get right into it, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. So the bait that I want to share with you guys is a Strike King Rage Swimmer. And particularly two sizes, the 3.25 and the 3.75. Those two sizes I feel like really emulate some of the bait fish sizes. This one might be on the kind of the larger side of things, but I feel like these two sizes get bit in this time frame really well. And the way that I rig it is probably not new to a lot of you, but some of you probably haven't tried it. And that's why I think it really makes the special things happen and the bites really come. And that is with a owner flashy swimmer. There's a couple different flashy swimmers out there. You've got this one here with the little willow leaf blades, and then you have another version with the gold Colorado there. And so both are great. I probably use the little silver willow leaves more often than not, and I use a lot of different sizes, or 2 or 3 different sizes, but day in, day out, that 3/0 with the 3/16 ounce weight that's molded onto the shank. I'll show you here a little bit more in detail what it looks like for those of you that don't know this bait or don't know this swim bait harness or rig setup. It's just a really unique little deal. And it's probably more well known as an underspin, but it's a Texas rig underspin, which makes it really weedless because you're gonna run your swim bait up on top of this little corkscrew section, and then you're gonna actually pierce through the bait itself and Texas rig this. So this is just a really weedless item, and you can throw it in and around shallow grass, stumps, rocks, wood, and not really be too concerned about getting hung up. And this little blade spinning around really catches a lot of flash, and I think it's just the right size to kind of get the attention of the fish, because this time of the year you have watercolor that's clear, because the lakes have been coming down throughout the year. A lot of the evaporation has occurred, water levels have dropped, and the water clarity is probably as clear as it's gonna be all year. A lot of the grass or vegetation that's in a lake has filtered a lot of that out, and we generally don't get a lot of rain in the early part of the fall. So without a lot of runoff, that water's clearer. So I feel like that little bitty blade really works well at imitating the bait fish. So show you how I rig this bad boy up, and then we'll go into some colors and different things like that. But basically, I'm taking the 375 size Rage Swimmer right here. This is actually called Pro Blue Red Pearl, and just gonna go ahead and run that little corkscrew. It's actually called an owner centering pin, and they're the only one in the industry that has one like this. It works exceptionally well at making sure that you get your bait straight on there, which is key with how it runs and how it performs, and just makes it overall a better bait, better presentation, and I feel like it's gonna get you more bites when it's all running like it should be. So then I'm gonna kind of measure there where the hook would come up through the bait and kind of gauge that, make a little visual, take a little visual mental note in there where I think that's gonna come through, and then boom, right up through the top like that. And actually, you can see the hook right there popping through. I like that because on the Rage Swimmer, there's a little hook slot right through there, and it'll just nestle straight in there and sits right in there and makes it nice and weedless right there. But it's ready for, to get to business when a fish bites it. But you just reel this, you cast it out and reel it back and fish it like a little spinnerbait, like a little mini A-rig for guys that don't throw an underspin or a chin spin, whatever you might want to call it. This is this is basically going to fish just like that, but it's more weedless and more forgiving, and they've got a nice gauge size hook in there, so you can actually upsize your line or downsize your line, and it just works well, very versatile in that way for clear water or a little bit dirtier water. And I feel like the Swimbait works really well in clear water, not so well in some of your stain environments, so the little bitty blade works well at drawing the fish's attention to the Swimbait. And again, I'm just fishing it just like you would a little spinnerbait, and casting it out, reeling it back, and you'll feel that little blade spinning. I'm gonna go into some of the colors. Some of the colors that I like is just a standard pearl flash, that white one with silver flake. That's a great one. And then also a green gizzard color. Show you that one, take it out of the package. That's that green gizzard, kind of a pearl belly with a green back, great at imitating bait fish. And then there's that Pro Blue red pearl belly. That's a great one. There's a couple of other different colors, but your more bait fish oriented colors are the ones that I feel like are the best. Going into the setup that I throw it on, I generally throw this particular setup with, 10 to 12 to 14, in that range, gamma edge fluorocarbon. I probably throw 12 on it the most because this isn't really a light wire hook. This is kind of a medium wire. Some might even argue it might be a little heavier than that. But so I want a little bit heavier line. So 12 I feel like works really well with this setup. And if I'm catching bigger fish or I'm in an area with a lot of cover, I might bump it up to some 14-pound test gamma edge fluorocarbon. Going into the rod and reel, I just really love the Lew's Hyper Mag. Just an awesome reel for multiple different techniques. Works well flipping pitching, works well light line, and I just love this 7.5 to 1 gear ratio reel. Casts extremely well, super smooth, and really handles through the seasons. But this one's been performing for me really well. The rod that I'm using is a Lew's Custom Pro Speed Stick, and it's a 7-foot medium heavy fast action. And for lines, it's 12 to 25 and 1/4 to 3/8 ounce. It's basically a 7-foot medium heavy rod. Whichever rod you might have at home, 7-foot medium heavy is going to do the trick. Again, a 7.5 to 1 gear ratio. You can go slower if you like. I just prefer a 7.5 to 1 gear ratio Lew's Hyper Mag. Probably the best all-around line size, 12-pound test gamma edge fluorocarbon. Either the 3.75 Rage Swimmer Swimbait or the 3.25. I might switch it up from time to time. I might go a little smaller if I notice the bait fish is a lot smaller. If I'm fishing for more like spotted bass, I might downsize because spotted bass have a smaller mouth and smallmouth have a smaller mouth. But the versatility of this Owner Flashy Swimmer works really well with a 3.25 or the 3.75. I'll rig it up with the 3.25 just so you can kind of see what that looks like and how it runs. I've caught fish with this. It's almost on the smaller end of baits that I would kind of rig for this 3/0 Flashy Swimmer, but it still really works. You can see right there that it's not oversized. It's like, again, it's on the larger size for a hook on that rig, but works well and will get you through. And I feel like it doesn't really make a difference to the fish. It's just a smaller swim bait size, about a 1/2 inch smaller to be exact. And just that setup is just awesome for the month of October. This is a setup that I feel like you could catch fish year round with. However, for the month of October, you're gonna wanna have this tied up. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching and good fishing.